The cool thing is it does record video and audio. So you guys will have this full recording back. Now you guys can all see me in that picture, correct?
Yes.
I should be orange, red, and yellow. So everything around me should be somewhat blue and black. Now, what we're looking for, blue and black, are our colder areas. We're looking for blue and black. Sorry, I don't want to become a ghost, so I keep stepping into the blue and black areas to move on their own. Okay, so is this the most effective tool that I have? No, but it's probably the coolest. I will tell you, this thing is really awesome to watch. Now, it is one of those tools, like if you see some kind of shadowy figure or a shadow move or whatnot, we can't catch it because by the time you turn this thing on, it's already gone. So we have to have it on at all times and at the ready. So again, I'm going to need a good camera person. Mike, I think I'm going to go with you on that one. So you're going to hold it horizontal all night. The camera's on your left-hand side. There's a red square on your screen.
Okay.
It means it's recording. If it turns to a circle, simply let me know.
Okay, then you'll...
And then tap it again. That way I have to splice the video together for you so you have one video to watch instead of 4 to 5. How many times you accidentally hit that button.
So when it turns to a circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
If it turns to a circle.
If it, if
It's an if, hopefully an if.
Do I need to point it on you all the time?
No.
Or
So
just
we're-
carry it and make sure it's...
Well, we're going to talk more. Our first location, guys, it is haunted, but it's a quick one-liner haunting. So you already hit a button?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're perfectly fine. You're still good to go.
Okay.
So, it is haunted, but it is a place where I get to work with all of you, kind of a one-on-one, so that way you guys have more tactics about your devices. Spirit boxes. We're going to be using 3 different types of spirit boxes tonight. Spirit boxes are a way for us to communicate with the dead. So, how do they work? This one in particular sweeps through FM radio stations, and it's going to sweep really fast. It's kind of that white noise that you hear on your ghost hunter shows and YouTube videos and all that stuff. This one is a little different because you guys aren't used to listening to just white noise. I have this one slowed down, so it's not going to sweep through as fast as your TV shows do. I want the radio chatter to come through. I want the DJs, the song lyrics, the commercials. If in the event we can actually make anything out of it, thank you. If we can make anything out of it, it's a 50-50 shot that I can match it up to the location of where we are, a person we're talking about, or something going on with one of us. We just never know what's actually going to pop up out of it. The cool thing about this one in particular is this one records the entire sweep for us. It doesn't record us. It only records the sweep, even when it's on mute. So your recording back tomorrow morning is the full sweep. None of us are going to be heard in it. So I'm going to set it up, and Michelle's going to go with this one because I like to have a spirit box in every group. So you're going to get this one in particular.
Okay. It's showing up blue on his thing.
What am I? Oh, yeah, because it's going to be much cooler than me.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
That's why.
Our skin temperature is going to be the warmest thing out here. Even though it's like 85 degrees out here, we're still going to be warmer than that. So we want to try to keep a person in view at all times. And we'll talk more about that at the first location. So you're already recording. The only thing you have to worry about is a little wheel at the top.
Okay.
That's it. And I already heard the word radio. So we'll see what comes out of that. All right, let's stick on spirit boxes, because I think the kids need something to do. This one does the exact same thing, only it doesn't record. So we're going to be relying on the 2 of you to verify what you're hearing together. Let me get this one sweeping. You guys also have one button to worry about. There is a little button right here on the side of the ball speaker. You hold it up to get some volume. You hold it down to turn it down. Obviously, when I'm telling stories, you want to keep it down. When I say spirit box is up, that's kind of your cue. You have to listen in so that way you guys can hear it together. And I will kind of give you guys some prompted questions along the way. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I hear some Frozen going on.
Get that off. That's cold, Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen came on by itself.
Frozen.
Oh,
Is that
by
a paranormal?
I don't know. There's no Elsas on my tour.
Seen Frozen.
I have 2 daughters. I have definitely seen Frozen. Alright, so the last spirit box, I need somebody to be vocal, so I'm gonna kind of bypass you on this one. So what this one does, guys, is it's actually going to give us a word in the center of the screen from time to time. And then it's going to save those words into a list.
Yeah, I like those.
So this one in particular, my last group had 84 terms. That's pretty heavy for a 90-minute tour. I'm going to clear them out and start you guys off fresh. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about the list. 80% of it doesn't mean anything. This thing is meant to be a game and a hoax because it's an app for a cell phone. It's the other 5 to 20% that it actually gives us some legitimate evidence, so that way I know what time signatures to look at on our video, on our audio, those kind of things. And I will always give you the backlink of where I got the information from. So, Nick, I think I'm going to go with you on this one.
Okay.
All you got to do is read the words to me from time to time. I'll say, and he's an easy name to remember. So I'm like, Nick, where are we at on our list? Because he's a person I call out constantly.
Nick and Nick.
Nick and Nick. All right. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Sheila.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me figure this one out. Nope, that's not going to work.
I'm a technological illiterate.
Oh,
That'll
you
work.
Just hold that.
Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a holding. Oh, I'm trying to figure out because I have another set of devices that I need 2 people to work together. I was kind of thinking mom and dad, but I think we're going to be okay. Evan, I think I'm going to give this one to you, just so you have an accompanying device to go along with this spirit box. So this is an EMF detector. This is going to measure electromagnetic fields. There's 3 different types. First one is natural, it comes from the earth. If there wasn't anything going on, just the first green dot would mean it's just natural. The second one is going to be from electronic devices. My cell phone's going to make it go off. Okay, would have to be touching it. The last one is going to be from supernatural things. It's going to go a little crazy. It's going to go all over the place. So this one is going to go to you. I'm going to rely on you to tell us when things are going a little haywire. So, and you said you were kind of okay, right? All right. So I think I can still do this. All right, mom and dad, because I need responsible adults.
Cell phone?
I turn mine off.
Should we turn our cell
Let
phone?
dad take his picture. What's that?
Should we turn our cell
No,
phones off?
you can. You can.
Or
It
turn
would
the
have
sound
to be
off?
touching it. No, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
It's your tour. You need to take a call. You take the call.
Okay.
All right.
I doubt if I get one. But...
It was on
You gonna
yellow.
call?
We're also kind of in a spot where
the
there's
ghost is
some parking
gonna call
meter
me?
wires. I'll let you know when we actually have something going on. Yeah. So, let's move on. This guy here, this is the neuralizer for Men in Black. You guys are all going to forget what's going on right now. Evans is investigating to make sure I have the neuralizer. This one is actually lasers.
Ooh,
You got
cool.
a laser grid in the pen? That's amazing.
Why we use lasers? First off, heated warning, mom and dad. Lasers get Nick in a lot of trouble. Notice it's on the ground. That's where it needs to stay. So whenever you point lasers around, you can't flash cars. Nick will go to jail. It's that, and not this Nick, not that Nick. So the reason why we use this is you can't see the lasers from the pen to the ground until something passes through it. Okay, so we want to actually catch something in the middle of that. So the second one that we use is a laser grid. Why do we use a laser grid? So when we catch something here, I can actually take that picture or video and put it in 3D software, and you guys will have a full 3D view of what we caught and measurements. So, do I cross them together? Never. You get dizzy. You don't want to cross the streams. Bad Ghostbuster joke, but it works here. You want to kind of keep them separate out in front of you, kind of thing. So these go to one person because the other person has a job too. So you guys decide who gets the lasers. Kids don't get lasers. Kids don't get lasers. They get Nick in a lot of trouble. They also don't get this device because they don't know what it is. It's a simple digital camera. So, go ahead and point one of those down for me, Mom.
I know, I'm trying to figure out how to...
All right, so the pen has a button on the side. You have to hold that one. Oh, you pointed it.
sorry.
There you go. You're already getting Nick in trouble.
I'm already not responsible. Okay.
All right, so leave it on for a second. You're literally going to be taking pictures, Mom or Dad, through the laser. You don't want to point it down because I already know what those green dots look like. I want to catch something here. So you want to be taking pictures through the laser 3 to 5 feet away.
Okay.
It will turn off from time to time, so you just have to hit the button next to the shoot button, and then just start. I don't care if you take hundreds. The more, the better.
Okay.
And how do I turn this thing on?
It has a little toggle switch. Point it down
Hold on.
first. There you go.
Got it.
That one stays on its own.
That was down that time.
Sheila, I'm not going to leave you out.
Good.
I usually forget names. I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably because I haven't had a tour all week.
Getting mixed
I don't
up.
have 60 names running around. All right. You are going to have a device that's a little complicated. But that's okay. Because I'm going to be with you the whole time. So, remember we talked about the EMF meter?
Is that a millimeter?
It's a millimeter. This one is going to do, it has three functions. It has an EMF in it, which is your big numbers at the top. If it goes above 2.5, I get excited, I want to know about it.
Okay.
The bottom number is about ambient temperature. So in case Mike over here sees something, we can actually find where the temperature is coming from through this guy. Last but not least, and we don't use this one all the time, so don't worry. I'll help you with this one. It's called a REM pod. So a REM pod detects motion. In the event something gets close to this antenna, it goes off. Notice I'm not touching it. The closer it gets to it, the higher it's going to go. I'm not facing it up because it's very bright. It's a little wonky right now, but it's because I'm jiggling it around. So when we're not using it, antenna down, and I'll show you more about how to use that at our first location.
Okay. So I just need to tell you when it gets above 2.5.
You got it.
And what about the...
The temperature, we'll kind of keep an eye on things. I may even shut it off after our first location, just so you can get a better feel for the device.
Okay, so if it goes down, I tell you?
Oh yeah. And
Down, if it goes down.
it will alert you when it goes down.
And it's 81.9 now. That's the
yeah,
temperature.
I don't want to know the temp. It's already humid.
Yeah.
It's 82
Yeah.
degrees. We know.
Yeah.
Mine says 90.
The lower, when it goes down, it's like exciting.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
That's where the
Yeah.
cold spots are coming
Right.
from.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotcha.
So, let's talk about the building behind me, where we should have met at. The building behind me used to be called Big John's. Big John was a football player for the 1947 New York Giants. This was his bar. He used to sit in the back of the bar, which was right inside that doorway right there, and he used to tell the bartender if the cadets that were coming over from the Citadel, if they were old enough to drink or not. If they weren't old enough, told the bartender, get them out. One night, two guys come in, they're not old enough, get them out. They come back the next night and they try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Why people kept cash registers by the door? Don't ask me. 1940, whatever. So, Big John sees what's happening. They get into a fight. Big John's beating these two guys up on the ground. A couple of shots go off and John gets hit in the neck. Just skims him. So it lands in the wall. John gets up, he goes back to the bar and he tells the bartender, get me a beer, get them guys an ambulance. Now first off, let me point out a few things. John's the one that got shot and he's the one that got up. Second, nobody died in that story. So what's haunting the place? It's the bullet hole in the building. It's allegedly still here. When I say allegedly, it's because they're renovating the place. So, people that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous. Sometimes they get a little bit of a headache. These are normal paranormal symptoms. I don't want to scare anybody because this technically isn't a scary tour, but if somebody feels any of those symptoms, I need to know immediately so we can move the group on.
What
That's
were the
a-
symptoms? Headache and what?
Headache, nauseous, dizziness.
Okay.
Any of those three things.
Okay.
It is warm out. It'll be hard to tell where it came from, but I still want to know. So I don't carry bottles of water because the equipment you're holding is heavy enough. So we will get you a bottle of water from somewhere. So let's move on to something where it's not our own health, shall we? Has anybody ever taken, well, he's making a wide turn, huh?
Kind of big.
Yeah,
He might have to back up a little bit.
he ain't gonna make that.
So anything above 2.5.
Anything above 2.5.
Okay.
There was an earthquake here in 1886. If you didn't already know that, you know that now because I'm going to reference it several times throughout the night. Apparently, this is where the first death occurred from that earthquake. The mantle that the truck is now blocking, that you can't see in the middle of the building. No, Bulldog is 2 streets down on your left. Thank you. You got it. Of course I know where my competitor is. You got it, right? So, again, you guys see the mantle now that the truck's gone? So it wraps around the front of the building as well. And from that earthquake, a piece of it broke off and hit somebody in the back of the head, and apparently that was the first death from the earthquake. I say apparently because I have no proof. I will never lie to you guys. I will never make things up. That's not what this is. This is really about trying to find actual evidence of the paranormal. You can apparently see his ghost in the middle of East Bay Street in the middle of the night. So, it's just a great segue story so you guys aren't thinking about getting sick on my tour. How about them apples? All right, so you guys ready to go ghost hunting?
Yeah.
Anybody tired of standing here because it's really loud?
Yeah.
I am.
So I just focus this on you or leave
No,
what?
everywhere.
Everywhere?
We
Just
need
kind of
good
go.
ghosts,
Oh, I
yeah.
can go back and forth like that.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that, Mike.
Yeah.
And if it's dark,
You're going to be the first person I go to. I always
Okay.
go to the thermal imaging camera first.
and I would see it's dark blue somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm going to show you evidence too.
Okay. Just making sure. Without breaking her. Well, you doing this, you fall and break your neck.
Well, don't.
Drop the camera. What? At least there ain't no cars coming. Be careful where you're walking.
It's on bed.
And next week we're actually testing out a new device. So yeah, we're going to be testing out a full spectrum camera.
Oh, wow.
So
It's getting really red over here.
oh, that's good. That's good. So let's give you a quick history on this.
The building's getting blue. Of course.
Positives out of anything yet?
Is it blue?
So let's move over to the side over here.
No, that's just cause
And
it's
that's awesome that you're getting
brown.
stuff. So that's good. So we're also going to try to keep yours, Evan, in comparison with Sheila's. She has somewhat of a similar device. So first off, you guys are going to find that I love parking lots. First off, it allows us to scatter out because I normally have 10 people. And this way we can actually explore the locations of where we're going to be. So we're at the big red barn lot. This is where we keep your horses for your carriage rides. So if you guys took a carriage ride, your horse probably came out of this barn. The horses are in that barn, so there's a couple rules. First off, spirit boxes that are noisy, so that would be Aubrey and Michelle. You want to keep them audible to you and the other person listening with you only. Absolutely no lasers on the building, so you don't want to spook the horses. They don't like the white noise that comes out of the spirit boxes, nor do they like laser lights. So if you wanted to scare, they will pick that metal wall and we will all jump. I promise you, including me. So, the only history I have here is very simple. This is where we kept the horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. So, let's talk about spirit boxes, because we have 3 of them out. This is not TV, this is not, is somebody here? Because if somebody's here and they answer no, that means somebody's here. Okay? So we don't ask yes or no questions. There's no point to it. And it's too easy to, if you guys hear the word houses from a real estate commercial, you think you heard yes, because S and O are too common of sounds. We want answers. If somebody's here with me, tell me what color that barn is. We can all agree that it's red. If somebody's colorblind, I'm sorry, I'm telling you it's red. So, now in the event you don't hear the answer red, they might give you a word that's specifically something red, like fire, heart, blood, anything that is specifically red. It's not going to be shirt. We have 2 people with red shirts on because a shirt can be any color. It's going to be something specifically red. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the other thing, and this goes for Nick's spirit box too, because he has a word list. He's got things going on that I haven't even checked on yet. In the event you guys don't get an answer out of what color is the barn and something very specific, what's inside the barn? Now we just opened it up. We have horses. They're animals. They're draft horses. They delivered milk and eggs to residents of Charleston. Now, residents of Charleston, I'm not looking for it. I'm looking for milk, eggs, protein, calcium. Those 4 things go together. Delivery makes sense. Draft makes sense. See all these key words that I'm giving you? If we were doing more about Big John, it would be 1947, New York, and Giants. Does that make sense out of that one?
Yes.
Now that I told you all of those weird facts, it's all about the key words. This is about putting the clues together. What are we hearing out of these spirit boxes? What are we getting out of the thermal imaging camera? Do these clues add up? Am I getting excited if Nick comes up with the color red on his? I might, but I still need something else to go along with it. I need somebody else to have the color red or another term that says that somebody's actually here giving us answers. So again, if it was 47, I still need New York. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so spirit boxes, go ahead and scatter. I think Mom and Dad have a quick gist on what you guys are doing with your lasers. The EMF, so Evan, you're kind of where you guys need to stop so she can start asking those type of questions. So I'm going to get you guys ready to start. We're only going to spend like 5 minutes here, just so you get used to your devices. This isn't true history of Charleston. This is a basic training, camp kind of thing. So get used to listening to that thing. Get used to where the button is and how to turn it up and down. So that way you guys get used to how to use it. Same thing with you. You're free to go
2.6.
for a few minutes
Okay.
and see what you can capture out of yours.
All right, got
It
it.
just went up to 2.6.
Perfect. Perfect timing. So,
Now, the 4.2.
oh, so you're all over the map right now.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, I also want you to keep in mind that I told you that there's an EMF coming out of the antenna when we have that up and that button turned on, and I'm going to show you more about that in a second. But those are two separate entities. I want to work with Mike first, just so because he had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So, Mike, point your camera at this wall for me.
Okay.
Watch it bleed out. All turned one color, didn't it?
Yeah, it's red now.
Okay. Now watch what happens when I get in. What happened to the wall now?
It's blue.
I'm the warmest thing in the picture. You want to try to keep somebody, I don't care who, in the picture at all times. If they're moving around, if they're off in the distance, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as you have somebody's 97 to 99 degree temperature in there, hopefully nobody's warmer than that tonight, right?
Okay.
But we want to try to keep somebody in view. I want the array of color, just so that way when I'm skimming through it, because you have to remember, we have 9 people here recording about 7 to 9 hours worth of data tonight. I'm not going to go through it all. I'm going to go through it for about 2 hours. Your video, I go through it for about 20 to 30 minutes, very slowly. If I see anything move that's out of the ordinary, that's where I stop and clip the video for you.
Okay.
That way-
So just keep somebody in it all the
Just
time,
keep-
no matter if they're front or back of them.
Front, back, skin. That's what I'm
Does the
looking for.
temperature mean anything is on here for me?
So, with temperature,
Because it's going up and down. Like,
yeah, honestly, it's just a great gauge for me in case something does happen. It's one of those, I don't need it right away. You don't need to see that I'm 98 or 99 degrees right
Okay.
now. I need to see that I'm 99 degrees and a black spot or a black form came up around me and started moving.
Okay.
That's where I need, because I know the temperature differences between each shade of color. So that way I can say, okay, there was a 25 degree colder person or figure moving around me. Because
Okay.
you could see I'm 98 degrees, and that was probably closer to 77 or 72. Do you see where I'm going? It's just a baseline.
Okay.
And so if you see like a form that is blue, then that's a sign that there is something,
As long as it's moving.
as long as it's moving.
So there's times where, like, for example, like I'm kind of turned away. I have clips where there's a whole blue spot covering somebody, their whole shoulder. I can't see their arm at all, which I should because it was bare. All of a sudden it groups together, gets colder, and wisps away. Now all of a sudden I can see their arm. Even though it's kind of turned at a different angle, I could still see that whole thing come together and go away. I have other pieces. I do have one piece I'm going to show you at the next location. This one in particular is just interesting because you have metal, you have asphalt, wood, foliage. I want you to just get used to how everything kind of fluctuates as you kind of do a quick lap around the lot. Also with vehicles, I'll kind of give you, you're taller than the rest of us, so you're going to stand out a little bit. People get a little funny about their cars being filmed. So at that point, you're just casually holding a cell phone. You're not being a camera person. You can just kind of lower it and kind of, not to say that people are going to come out screaming at us, but I won't say that it hasn't happened before. Just think about somebody filming your vehicle. You probably wouldn't like that very much
I think
either.
it-
So let's talk about your device.
Okay.
So, are you getting used to, you've already given me like 2.6 to 4.9, I think. You
Yeah.
gave me that range there. So we're going to shut the temperature off until we need it. So hold it still for me. I'm going to make that the bottom number go away.
Okay.
Now what happens now is that all the battery juice is not being spread between temperature and the EMF. It's all going towards EMF. So your bigger number is going to move quicker now. I wanted you to kind of see it slow motion first. That's why I leave the temperature on to get it going. Now we're going to turn on the REM pod. So go ahead and pull up your, yep, and then flip the device over. There's a little flap on the very back. And I kind of leave it open.
I don't have my glasses.
That's okay. I'm gonna open it, and you can just leave it loose.
Okay.
So there are two buttons. The one on closer to the edge is the one you want to hit.
This one?
Yep. Click it all the way in.
Should I do that now?
Go ahead.
Click. What do you mean all the way in? This way?
You'll feel it. Click it all the way in. Nope. Nope. You gotta click it down into the device. No.
Oh, into the button. Okay.
You got it. There you go. Perfect. All right. Nope. It's not all the way on. You didn't click it all the way in.
Okay.
Try again. You'll feel it click. Let go. Nope, still not there. I need you to feel it click into place. There you go.
My nails.
Okay, let go. Perfect. Flip it back over so it's facing you.
Okay.
All right, now it's going to go a little wonky. It's going to go a little nuts. There's an EMF field around the antenna. In the event you're moving it around, I usually give this to a female because y'all walk a little bit more gracefully than us guys. So when you're moving around,
Gracefully.
If you're a hard stepper, it's gonna do that with every step. Now, I'm not gonna. You didn't move at all.
Yeah,
So
right.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, okay.
So let's say you're a hard stepper, and all of a sudden it's going crazy all over the map, and it starts doing that. There's a reset button to make that EMF go straight back up again. And that's something going on. Like that's not us.
That is. Yes.
So
I agree.
along the side where your thumb is, there are 4 buttons. Do you feel the 4 buttons?
What do you want?
On this.
Nope, wrong side then. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay.
It's normally they usually hold it with their right hand.
Okay, now I feel
The very
buttons.
bottom button is going to make that thing reset. So it's all wonky like this right now. Click that bottom button. It's going to straighten it back up.
Just click.
Just click.
Okay.
Or you can hold it to click it if it's really like going all over the place. Now, if it's one of those things where it's all over the place and we can't figure out what it's doing, it's because somebody. Oh, that's your phone.
That's me. I'm sorry.
That's
Did I
okay.
mess it up?
No, you're fine. I was just kind of like, who put the flash on the camera? We want that thing to go a little bit nuts because it's going to help us. But the more still you are, the better off we're going to be. Nick, where's our word list? What do we have? What have you seen?
We've had hell, banking,
Bank.
we've had grandmother, let's see, wet.
Okay.
That's got a
So
procedure.
there's
procedure was there too for a bit.
Okay. There's a way to see the word list. So when I say, hey Nick, where are we at with the list? There's a little calendar just to the right of your word.
Okay.
Hit the little calendar for me, and it'll bring up the whole list, and you can actually scroll through it.
Okay.
You don't want to hit the red X's. You don't want to hit any bottom button. You just
0.
go
That's
through
it, yeah.
and click the circle back button to get it back to the normal home screen.
Okay. All right.
So at times I might say, hey Nick, let me just take a look at this list and see if something inspires me of what's going on.
Okay. Right now, it seems like it's all over the place.
And it probably is. So, Mom and Dad, do we have a gist on the lasers?
I think. Did you have questions? Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm just supposed to be
Well-
like asking.
I got nothing on
Yeah.
that. My
This
knee.
is the thing.
See if I can get an actual answer. Have you gotten an answer yet?
This thing. I cannot stand this thing. I was like, I don't want that.
All right.
And then
Your shorts are blue,
We
Nick.
do just basically
Top is red.
Which means his top is hot and his bottom is cold.
Need to warm your butt up.
Warm your tushy.
I know. Mom and Dad,
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
It is.
Patty, you got out of this, huh?
Elias?
You didn't get a You didn't get a.
See.
But she can't talk, so
Yeah.
with an laryngitis.
is everybody ready to learn some real history?
Yes.
I think I've covered everybody's device. All right, let's go this way.
I'm supposed to keep. I'm gonna keep it on you, bud. Sheila Scott. I'm gonna.
What?
You say keep it on somebody all the time. We're scanning around. I'm gonna scan you. This would be hard to watch, but you're supposed to be watching where you're walking and you're looking at this thing.
5.2, 4.2. Now it's 0.
Did you have any words pop up right away?
Elias.
Elias. So that could have been a stable boy for all I know, but that's something I can't prove because there's no record of that anywhere. Interesting. I want stuff I can prove.
Gotta pay attention where you're walking and looking at the thing. Watch the sidewalks.
I know.
I mean me, because I'm looking through this thing. I hear some ghosts right now.
Here, 2.6, 2.4, 5.8.
That's good stuff. So, point of reference, Evan's device that he has only goes to 25. That's the same type of device that you're reading back to me. Yours, I've seen spike at over 100. So, we have good stuff so far. Evan, you got anything going on? I see stuff blinking. So he's sitting right now at around 7, from what I see, based on his light scale already. So that's a good sign too. So, guys, welcome to another beautiful site of Charleston.
A parking lot.
Another parking lot. So, if you guys don't know where to park after you're done with me, I don't know what to tell you. So, welcome to the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion site. So, this is an interesting story. Couple of things. That's the only way in and out. So cars like to come in here trying to find a spot, and just like we talked about with cameras on you, like, this is one of those spots where people might get angry because there's a lot of vehicles here. So, also know, lasers can set off car alarms. So, gotta be careful with your lasers. Yeah, I put you guys in all kinds of risk and things, don't I?
Shoot around. Like you're looking for
What was that?
ghosts. You don't have to. You're
I
not
don't have to
filming
do it.
him. You're not filming him. You're filming.
Or other people.
Yeah, you're looking for ghosts.
Okay, so I'm not really looking or keeping it on.
No,
purpose.
you're not keeping
Oh,
it.
okay, I thought. Okay.
Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. There's 3 Charleses in case you lost count. The son and the nephew were signers of our Constitution for South Carolina. Obviously, the son was raised here. This is a pretty big deal for Charleston, but I hate politics, and you guys are on vacation and don't want to talk about politics either. I'm sure they don't want to talk about politics. So we're going to move on to lining it.
No.
Oh,
Do you know how that the Eliza you're saying? Do you know how that's spelled?
yes, E-L-I-Z-A.
Elias.
Yeah, the
It's
Lions.
an S, right?
Yeah.
It was an S. Okay.
Right.
was gonna
I would've
say,
caught
they're
that,
very
trust me.
close.
They are, but not close enough for me to say, bingo, I want definitive stuff. And we're going to get it. So, he's going to So, we're going to talk about Eliza because she's waiting. Okay, so how long have you guys been in town?
I've been here since Tuesday.
Tuesday, Thursday, you guys said?
Yes.
Thursday.
Yesterday? Okay. Alright, so you guys have been driving around. You guys have probably seen things related to the Pinckneys. So Eliza married Charles at a very young age. I'm not going to tell you how old she was. This is not a, like, what color is George Washington's white horse? What color is the red barn? Kind of mentality. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. So that's why I like to put one in every group. This is definitely going to be, I know, right? I'm trying to talk ghosts and I want to get down with it. So, oh, look at you getting blanks. Where was I? Oh, so you can ask the question how old she was when she got married to Charles, and Charles was over double her age, if that kind of gives you a clue. Okay, so she married Charles at a young age because her dad over in England thought he was dying and he wanted to see all his kids one last time. Eliza was here in Charleston. She didn't believe that he was dying, so she didn't go. She got married instead. This is the 1740s. There's no such thing as, and I'm not dismissing it, that's good. Like, she's here. I'm telling you. You're going to get all kinds
I
of
just
stuff.
went to red.
6.2, 5.5, 4.
As I keep going, it'll probably go up. So, get you guys loving getting into this already. Now, this was 1740s. There's no such thing as citizenship. Basically what happened was Eliza put her foot down and said, Dad, I don't want to come home because I don't think you're dying. She was right. He didn't die right away. So, she got married. Dad started sending gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Indigo was already...
6.4.
It's good. We're going to hopefully get bigger numbers than that. You're all over the place. Because we don't want rhythms. We don't want 2.5 to 5, 2.5 to 5. That's something man-made. We want it all over an array like what you have. So, Dad sends over indigo. Indigo was already here in Charleston, but he wanted his daughter, the botanist, to try to figure out what to do with this plant. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. Nobody has blue jeans on tonight. Wow, what an example. Oh, yeah, there you go. So that's what we still use it for today. You guys have probably seen the word indigo as you've been driving around. You didn't even realize it. So, she had to learn from her slaves and servants how to keep this plant going in our very weird temperatures. It gets cold here. How do we keep it going? The gullah culture we have here within our slave community taught her how to do this. Once she experimented with it where you're standing, she moved it to Mount Pleasant. Then she calls Dad, not really calling the 1740s. So, some of the kids look at me like I'm crazy. But she called. But she says, I need somebody to sell this to. So he gives her all his contacts from overseas. Indigo is huge over in France and Italy. Indigo, royal blue, that's where this came from. Also think of our Civil War over 100 years later. The North wore blue, we wore gray down here in the South. The gray was just less indigo. That's how much.
10.0.
How much?
10.0.
Interesting. Now that I brought up the Civil War, it's very interesting. So, a couple of weird things about Eliza. I'm just giving you enough so you guys have enough to work with on your spirit boxes. Eliza, you can ask about the marriage thing, right? The ages. But Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. They both go by their maiden name. So mom and dad help out with maiden name when you guys are asking that question. They both start with the letter L. That's all I'm going to tell you. So both Elizas, letter L, maiden name. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. How old was she when she died? What did she die from? Where did she die? And what U.S. president was a pallbearer at her funeral? A pallbearer is the person that carries the coffin to the grave. Okay, so a president took her to her grave. That's a pretty big deal, obviously. So, what else can we ask? We can ask what happened to the mansion. It's obviously not here anymore. You can also ask when that happened, whatever happened to it. Let's see, what else? Oh, the kids. So if you're going to ask questions about the kids, I already told you, she had at least one son named Charles because he was a signer of the Constitution, but tread lightly with the kids. There's a tragedy there. You start poking that bear a little too hard, all activity stops if we're hitting anything, which we already have signs that we are. So I've seen it happen dozens of times. Somebody gets too curious and starts asking, what happened to your kid? Next thing you know, we don't have anything. It's crazy. I don't know why it does that or how much dictation she has. She just doesn't want to talk about it. Things you can ask about her kids. How many did you have? How many boys? How many girls? What are their names? End it there. Don't go any further. So we are going to explore this lot for a good 10 minutes. So if we have a lot of activity where you guys are all kind of coming up to me saying, I got this, I got this, I got this, we might stay for 15. Just depends on how much activity we're going to get. But this is a very big hot spot for me. So I'm going to check you guys in on all of the different apps and websites you guys bought your tickets from real quick while you guys all get started. And I'm going to start following up with each team individually and kind of see where we're at and then show Mike, James, and Christy. I knew it was Christina. I was getting there. So I'm going to show them some evidence. And then I want to look at, let's get the next word list real quick. It says presents. Received, get. Coordinates, position. So, I mean, I have received and get. So I told you Dad sent over some indigo. Is it specific enough for me? No. But it does relate to the story for sure. Again, I don't see anything specific yet other than presents. So we'll kind of see what Sheila gets on her device and kind of go from there. So yeah, you can go back. All right, you guys go ahead and spread out, find your hotspots.
Okay.
You're in charge because you have to tell all of them where to stop. That's how that goes.
Now on this blue thing, I was supposed to see like it's walking off or something to
Yes.
You're just looking for, okay, so like, for instance, if a ghost appears on here, you will see how she just turned like this, the blue.
Yeah.
A ghost will be really dark. Like, see how
Real-
that right there
yeah, real dark
is dark? And you see it's probably a post over there.
Yeah.
So you just kind of pick out kind of what's happening, but a ghost will be darker than that blue. It'll almost
Okay.
be a black.
And they'll be moving too, right?
So, sometimes they stand still.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they're just lurking. They're just watching. They're just watching.
Okay.
So, but when you see something dark, like you can just kind of, like those little dark spots are probably just shadows.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
if you concentrate on that shadow and something does move, then you've caught a ghost.
Okay.
Okay?
So I was supposed to let him know that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Like, I want to show you some evidence just so you have a better gist of what you're looking for.
Okay.
Let me bring it up for you. And I like to show it off here because it happened right there. That's why I wait until
Okay.
we're actually here. We'll find the right album. So when I have actual evidence, it goes into an evidence folder. But I keep track of everybody's tour. You can imagine how much data is on my website. See, somebody's about to come to their vehicle. That's where somebody's.
Yeah. Oh, that's what the CNO's out here.
Oh, back way too far. There we go. Alright, so This is the wall, all that orange.
Yeah.
There's going to be 2 living people, just for reference, above the wall. Do you see them?
Yeah,
just walking past?
yeah.
So we're going to find 2 dead people going the opposite way, right about there.
Okay, I see a movement. Yeah, like her.
So that guy was always in view, so that way I knew that they should have been the same skin temperature, same color, at least relatively close. But instead we had that was black versus this guy here that's yellow and orange. And I've analyzed this with firemen and mechanics to try to make sense of it, and they all say the same thing. There's no explanation. The cars, because it would have to go that way, which is across the street, it's too far away. It would be much bigger. But I mean, I've analyzed this dozens of times, trying to go through it and make sense of it. And that's the best piece of evidence I have from this camera. I mean, it's literally 2 heads. It's crazy stuff. But again, that's kind of what you're looking for, just those black and blue spots to move on their own. You still recording? Yep, you're good.
Okay. Yep.
And, I mean, you got, she had the right idea. You just want to kind of keep it moving around nice and slow. Now you're back on track. All right, you guys doing okay on yours?
Wow. Oops. I hit the button again. I mess it up.
Yes. Cool.
I'll hold it on the other end. That way I won't mess with that button.
What gifts did your father send you? How old were you when you got married? What is your maiden name? How old were you when you died?
That's good. Okay. Okay, cool, man.
Somebody with a rifle.
Anything else coming up? Might be relative. I asked everybody to ask me things about when we were born or things about the baby by accident. But no.
Yeah, unless somebody
I mean,
was
rifle.
entered with a rifle.
I mean, anything could be. Like with the rifle, there is something going on there, but I'm waiting for something else. So
9.5.
9.5. So you guys are in a good spot. So hang out here for a minute with Sheila and
Okay.
see what you can capture.
4.8.
Now who's Zoe?
What is it?
Zoe.
Zoe?
Yeah.
Huh.
Is that like Eliza?
I don't know.
Zoe?
Zoe is what's the guy
2.9.
musician's name? It's kind of freaky with the mustache, long hair.
Oh,
His kid was named Zoe.
kind of cool.
This is lightened up about 5 times. Obviously, I would consider that smooth, like the end part of that, a lot. Because you're taking pictures at a very quick rate, but that little arm on the, it's in the middle of it, right about there, that's the part that makes me go,
I kind of
3.9, 7.8, 18.
Mike, you getting anything on yours? Anything weird?
Nah, I've watched the people go by and they're all orange when they're walking by. So.
You tested me, aren't you? I like it.
This thing's supposed to be it. Down here is not.
Don't worry about the timer.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I just seen. I noticed it wasn't. Yeah, that was better understanding it when I watched the people go by and they were orange walking.
Yep. A lot different when you can see it for yourself.
Yeah. So let's see what we do.
Okay, I think I heard of 17 when I asked her how old she was when she got married. So, no, yeah. Well, never mind that.
So, we have some weird spikes going on with the millimeter, especially in the center of the lot, like right behind that vehicle. So, that could be from your moving it around a little bit because it's flashing. So we might want to, there you go, try to reset it. So, we did get the word rifle. I was waiting for, like I said, leg, kneecap, foot, anything along those lines, because one of the sons of Eliza was in the Battle of Camden. He led the Battle of Camden and lost a leg.
Oh.
So, I again, rifle would have made sense with the war that he was in. So, other answers. You heard the number 17, is that correct?
Yes.
So the only thing that's relatable to is the time, the century that she was in. So 1740s. So let's talk about all of the other answers. Eliza was 22 when she got married to Charles, and he was 45. Now to me, 22 is a young age. When I say very young age, it kind of leads people to think she was in her teens or less. So I do that on purpose, so that way you guys aren't getting like, oh, she was 20, 21. You know, you're not guessing. I want you to hear it. So let's talk about Eliza's death. She was 70. Oh, you sure you didn't hear 70? And not 17?
I mean, after what she got married, so I don't know.
Fair enough. Interesting. So she was 70 when she died of breast cancer in Philadelphia, which is also where she's buried. Now, she died in 1793. There was no such thing as breast cancer. We're going based off her medical records. Anybody want to take a guess at the president now that you know what year she died?
George Washington?
George Washington. Good job, Evan. So, and I actually kind of gave you guys a little brain twister with that. I told you I wasn't going to give you questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse? So I did that on purpose just to see if you had a suggestive thought. Evan's the only one that failed. No offense. So, but good job. That way you guys didn't come up with it preemptively. Most people say Jefferson or Adams along those lines. Let's see what else. The mansion caught fire in the Great Fire of 1861. And that was almost 70 years after Eliza's death. And it caught fire right here. So, I usually get a lot of activity around there with the spirit boxes. I don't give you guys that clue. I like to see who gets drawn to those corners. Every tour guide talks about a great fire of whatever year it happened, because we've had dozens, which is another reason why Stories in a Cemetery doesn't take you to a cemetery, because we're walking through one. Charleston is one giant cemetery. There's death everywhere. War, famine, fires, you name it. We've been through it all. So, with what else did I have you guys ask? The kids. So there was 4 of them, 3 boys, 1 girl. Boys' names, you already know Charles. Then we had Thomas, which is the leader of the Battle of Camden. And then we had George. So here's the interesting thing about George. George died as an infant, and the baby was lost. We don't know where the body is. So we have no idea where that baby is. So there's no mention.
Yeah, 12, 7.
Wow.
8,
Oh wait, it's picking up red.
So maybe she did want to talk
7.
about the babies. Very interesting. Love how everybody jumps in. Awesome. Love it. But George, he was named after her father. Now, I didn't tell you what their maiden name was, what Eliza's maiden name was. This is where it gets interesting. Eliza, the one that planted all the indigo, her maiden name was Lucas, which means her father's name was George Lucas. It makes it very easy to remember for a guy who has to pretty much memorize names and dates all day long. So George Lucas, that gives us 3 Georges, just like the 3 Charleses. And we're still talking about
14.
George, and we're getting all kinds of blips. That's pretty awesome. So hopefully I can capture the name George in the recording on Michelle's Spirit Box tomorrow morning. So when I do get the name George, just like the Charles, I need something else to tie it into which
6.
one is it. So hopefully we get president, son, infant, anything along those lines that I can hear. Baby.
I think she's saying she hears this. He had ears, and now he has here.
That outside bomb and innovation.
Innovation would have been the indigo, because she was a businesswoman in the middle of those colonial times. Yeah, she's here.
She's listening.
Awesome. Thinking about covers. Oh, the other Eliza Lamb Pinckney. So the names we were looking for were Lamb and Lucas. They both
12.
start with L. Your device is going to be very interesting for us. So what happens from here? We're actually going to go up to Lodge Alley. That's about 3 blocks from here. We're going to check out Lodge Alley. James is going to take some pictures. Before we all walk into Lodge Alley, I do capture some weird anomalies. You're going to be very still when you take those pictures. No lasers on East Bay or in Lodge Alley, because it is a quiet area. There's restaurants and a hotel in between either side. spirit boxes. If you want to listen along the way, I'm listening for names. I'm not going to tell you what the gender is, nor what the names are. I want to see if you can match up to what the story is once we get there. That's a very brief area. We're going to stop. I'll tell you what's going on there, and then we're going to basically go and learn a little bit of legends and lore, some things that you might hear on other tours that I get evidence from, and we'll do one last full investigation like this one at the Powder magazine about a female pirate. So if you're into pirates, this is going to be a pretty badass story for you. It's pretty cool. So it's a new addition to the tour over the past 6 months, and what's funny is I was researching today on how I'm going to change it for October, because people are already booking that far ahead with me. So yeah, I turn people away most weekends, so it's the nature of my business. So questions, comments, concerns about Eliza and Charles? Hopefully I can capture something on Michelle's device. All right. Now, if anybody is willing to swap out with Michelle because she's having a hard time listening to that device, I'll be more than glad to re-sanitize whatever devices I need. So if somebody wants to swap out with her, or if you want to try to give it a go for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
I don't mind swapping.
Okay. Well, I get you guys are a team.
Yeah, we all have to say together.
Yeah, you guys are a team. So that's, again, when somebody has a hard time, I put it out there because I do carry my Lysol wipes with me. So, all right, let's go take a hike. We're going to go up this way.
Watch your step.
I know, it's so dark right there.
There's bottles laying down here. Trashy people throw stuff around.
Step up right here.
Whoops. Got a motorcycle here, man. How long?
Careful, Mike.
That's it.
Careful, guys.
We're near the parking meters. You can ignore it.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
turn the REM pod part off too. That's the button on the back.
Oh.
The parking meters will make you go walk. Not to mention, you gotta like.
Okay.
You want to turn that REM pod part off too? That's the white button in the back.
It's like a face right here.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the one close to the edge.
Okay, I got it.
Did you forget about something?
No, you were too busy talking.
I was doing.
Patty. Is that where you went? Up there?
Blah,
No.
blah, 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 blah. All right, so we'll call you in half an hour if we have powder. Stay awake.
Coming up where?
Pictures of the baby.
We're back by the what you call it, city markets there. It's still open. I thought they closed.
You guys need a map or anything?
I think. I don't know. You needed something.
Are you catching anything?
Yeah, you ain't gonna catch nothing here. There's too much stuff going
No, I
on.
mean,
Nah. I can see the little people orange. If you see something like people going orange and you see something like a little blue thing moving, like a person or something, that means that's a ghost.
oh really?
So what do you think, bud?
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it.
Okay.
I think it's
Don't
something
select
very
me.
unique.
Don't select me for camera guy. I have to hold this thing
Well,
up all the time.
yeah, I know. Careful.
I'm a picture taker, not.
Yeah.
Normally when we sit there and
Sorry.
like puppy eye.
I'd rather do something
But
like
everything
like
else
Nick.
Everything else was tougher.
Huh?
I probably got the easiest thing to do.
How about Nick? He just got the thing and look at names. Plus, you gotta scan this thing, but you gotta watch where you're walking.
Yeah.
Really?
I think you're really gonna.
Yeah, I think we got them all. Where's that bridge that lights up there at night?
What's that?
The one, the big bridge. Where's that lights light up on Earth? They got.
Yeah, I bet it does.
That'd be kind of neat. That'd be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what got me going.
We got the sax guy playing. Sarasota. Place is a hopping now.
Yeah. Friday night.
Friday night, tomorrow night too.
1 to 9. So that got us watch all of these crazy
He showed me a thing of you see the orange people walking one way, and then all of a sudden these two little blue things start walking a different way. A blue would be the ghost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
that's good.
they wouldn't have any heat on them.
Yeah. That's neat.
So they look like they're blue, and they were going the opposite way from the other people.
All right, James, I'm going to need you up front.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes, I did. Excuse me.
Oops.
Sorry, you go ahead.
Is this where we're going?
Have you eaten here?
What, Magnolias? What's that one we saw?
Nick? Nick? Yeah. Should I turn this back on?
No, you want to leave it right where it's at.
Okay.
And your loud speaker boxes, they need to be just audible to you only. This is quiet.
Fancy in here, look like. Fancy. Hard walking to this stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, welcome to Lodge Alley, everybody. When we crossed that last crosswalk, we crossed into the original Charlestown walls. So Charleston used to be called Charlestown. So with that said, this is one of the first streets we ever had. You can obviously see how narrow it is. It's just wide enough for horse and buggy. Now, the cool thing about this place is that the two buildings that we're leaned on right now, they weren't here back in the 1800s. People used to live here, little tiny shotgun houses. Okay, so with that said, I have the full list of names of every person that's ever lived down here. So it's not a long list, and there wasn't many of them. So I normally get the names of Benjamin and John. They both lived here in 1801. That's 2 out of 5 people that lived here in 1801. And sometimes I'll get John's last name, which is Johnson. So it just depends on what comes up out of here. This is called Lodge Alley because this is also where the Masonic Lodge was for Charlestown. So again, the word Mason comes up all the time here. And it's a very interesting place. We got a couple of pictures. We'll see what comes up out of the spirit boxes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just turning around.
Oh, okay.
So when we cut through here, we're going to be cutting through a neighborhood. So we're going to be pretty quick to get to our next spot because tour guides aren't supposed to be tour guides in neighborhoods. And we're going to go through some of that legends and lore. But again, you're walking on a very old street. I mean, we're talking early 1700s. These bricks are made out of clay. That's how old they are. So we're going to let security pass through. Oh. He's just checking things out. All right, we're going to head it this way.
Well, just stepping out there.
Let's let security pass through. He's trying to make his rounds, guys. This saw goes to the left. My wife is disabled, so she has braces to walk. Everything that has full speech for her when I'm not with her, it's an automatic. I keep moving. Yeah. Probably move down a little bit further. Alright, so this is a very heavy touring area. So as other tourists try to come up this way, because they're not allowed to go that way, we'll kind of separate. I'm going to give you the story very quickly here. I'll be honest, I used to take people all the way through this alley because it's a great investigation, but it's residential at the end, kind of the same rules I got caught. Okay, we'll just put it out there. They got in a lot of trouble because I was disrupting the neighbors with my spirit boxes. People asking questions. So this is Philadelphia Alley. It's easy to remember because this is the same city where Eliza died, right? She died in Philadelphia. So it used to be called Jewelers Alley. where the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So, we all talk about one specific duel that occurred. It's a pretty cool story, so we'll see what comes up out of the spirit boxes as I'm telling you. Now, there was a doctor that moved down here. Somebody, yeah, just let me know if another group's coming down this way. We'll all
Should I
separate.
turn this on?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Definitely want to keep it low here.
Okay.
So, the doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. He's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney handling the money said, "You're not getting married yet. I think he's just after your money. Send him away." So, the doctor moves to Charleston to prove he's not just after Amanda's money. As he comes into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. This is the doctor. He's dressed pretty well. He looks like he has some money, right? He just got out of medical school. So, somebody walking by says, "You don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere else." He takes him to 59 Church Street. We're about to go to Church Street. It's just so you guys have a reference of where that is. So, he takes him there, and 59 is a prominent number I look for in the spirit box recordings. So, the two become friends. That gentleman's name is Ralph Isaacs. The doctor's name is Joseph Brown Black. So we get all of those names somewhere mixed in. Also keep in mind that Ralph Isaacs has the same initials of where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. So RI comes up here a lot, hopefully with another clue. Now, the two became friends, but the doctor's practice starts to take off. Amanda's moving down, he's got lots of patients, he's making lots of money, things are going pretty well. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. You can Google the Whistling Doctor and get a very detailed version of his story. I'm giving you enough for your spirit boxes. So, him and Ralph used to go see plays together. They go see a play, but the doctor has better seats because he makes more money than Ralph. So he has better seats. They talk about the play on the way home. One night they go see William III from Shakespeare, and the doctor loves the new actress, Ralph doesn't. They start arguing. It turns into an insult on the doctor's fiancée back home, Amanda. So obviously they get pretty mad at each other. They're arguing, and they go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He goes to his newspaper friends and puts an ad in the paper. It says what a disgrace the doctor was to the city of Charleston. The doctor sees the ad, he gets pretty angry. He rebuttals with, "Let's go to Doyle's Alley and settle this. Somebody's gonna die." So they come down, they take the 20 paces, they turn, the doctor points his gun in the air, and he shoots. He did not want to kill his friend. However, Ralph has one shot. Puts it in the kneecap. Sorry, Nick, you're just in front of me. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor didn't die either. Ralph just wanted to make his point. His friends pick him up and carry him home. He dies 10 days later, probably from bleeding out in the 1800s. The doctor couldn't heal himself. They say, as you walk through this alley, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. This was a place where I would use my regular audio. Do I have the hecklers that give me the whistles? I do. There are some others that I can't debunk because it's very faint. I've also had whistles come through on radio stations while I'm in this alley. The word whistle, the word Amanda, doctor, medicine. I get all kinds of things out of this alley. So I know we're not going to do the full investigation because obviously we can't go all the way through it, but I felt like this was a good breezy stop because we did have a little bit of a breeze. Looks like we quit. But I do get a lot of weird things down here. When you guys are, I don't know how long you guys are staying in town, this is the prettiest spot, day or night, for pictures. So, again, I can't tell you, like, it's, and normally you can hear, you can't hear East Bay Street right now. The hustle and bustle that we just walked through, you can't hear it day or night. It's like this all the time. That's why you can hear the whistles. So, really cool spot. Again, I just wanted to kind of stop and show you, just because I'm not supposed to be in here, but I think they're in here. We're going to take advantage of the corner. Let's go up and see the church.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
I remember that
We
spot
were here.
with this, what do you call it, this morning. Yeah, this morning. Yeah, I remember that spot there. Yeah, because it's hard to walk it. Yeah. Yeah, we did that this morning with
But they don't want you there in the evening?
whatever his name was.
There's a ring around the moon.
Ring a what?
Ring around the moon.
This is a great place to park.
This where you park?
Not tonight, but I have passed. When I came to the city market, I passed it.
Ah.
So that'll give you close to the eastern coast of the peninsula.
Well, take a picture. I can't do it.
Remember I told you guys about the earthquake?
3.5,
That's where you're at right
4.5, 4.8.
4.765.
Have you gotten anything interesting?
No, not really. I think church, celebrity, reason, truly,
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Aubrey and see if she's listening to anything, if she's hearing anything. Have you got anything?
Forgot about the circle.
No, not a.
Not a thing?
I just hear jargon. I do not like these things.
good weather after the rains, and everything's quiet for a while. And then in another few days, it's going to start up as a storm on Sunday, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe
Sunday.
they'll get restless on Saturday.
They're talking about 12 inches of rain down, you know,
Louisiana
in the
and
Gulf
Alabama,
area.
that
We're
area.
going to get the rains of it, you know, like when it snows in the house.
So this thing might have been off for a long time.
It's bad.
Well,
Of course, Sundays are.
We had the carriage ride, but we changed it to tomorrow.
Yeah, we planned everything. Yeah.
12:45 to carriage ride tomorrow.
So we'll be going during March 11th.
No.
What street is this here?
Alright, we'll go ahead and wrap this up because nobody's screaming at me that they have great evidence. I think we kind of debunked some of the things coming out of your device. So as you can see, I don't make things up. So I'm very excited to kind of go through your device just because you struggled with it. Which means I'm going to be able to find stuff as we kind of go through it that'll surprise all of you when I give you your data pack. We did get some crazy email things going on at the Kinky Mansion. So Evan was testing the whole lot. That's why he went by the other part of the cemetery. So I wanted to see if he got anything over there because there's a little bit of a story there. So it was kind of like, all right, let's see what's going on. We are going to be missing part of the video because Mike didn't realize he wasn't recording. So not his fault, not a big deal. I will splice together everything that we have so that way you have kind of everything there in one video. I'm usually done by noon. So I go through this for about 2 hours. I don't go through all of it like I told all of you. That's what you paid me for. I'm going to give you some audio markers. If I see anything in a thermal imaging video, I give you the video marker of the timestamp to look for. I may, if it's like really strong evidence, I may even clip it out and put it in the middle of your evidence as a separate video, just so that way you don't miss it. But again, I'm going to go ahead and collect the devices and kind of get this wrapped up. And you guys can ask me a million questions if you'd like, based on anything that we did, anything else that I've done, any locations I've been to, you know, those kind of things. So let me kind of go through, because they have to go through in a specific order. The wife bought me cases. Trying to help.
It's a good thing.
Yes. So, but they all have to go in very specific. All right, we're gonna start with the phones. So Nick, take yours. Thank you, sir. Good job. Trying to piece things together. I'll get the word borrow. I'm pretty sure pirates didn't borrow anything.
Like that.
They
Temporarily, anyway.
right? They weren't giving it back. Let's see. Thermal imaging. Mike. I'm on point with the names. I'm bragging on that because I'm never good with names.